What's up, neighbor? I'm just being a bum today. I ain't got nothing really planned. Currently got printers printing, or a printer printing, and been playing around with some radio stuff. What's up, Dale? Good to see you, Mac. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. What's up, little nephew? Yeah, there's a whole lot going on today, and the missus is inside reading books and watching TV, and I figured I'd stream. Since the printer I want to install, Open Centauri, has currently got a couple hours left on the print, I finally decided that this is not a jab at Captain Kern and today's unfortunate mishap, but I'm finally printing the glass little cover for the top, the little brackets that go on the side. If anybody missed poor Captain's video this morning, he was unboxing his Centauri Carbon and had an unfortunate incident with the lid and the floor. And as I was getting ready to type, don't forget to take the lid out, the lid toppled out and hit the floor. And now I think once LTX gets the files, I believe LTX is going to cut him an acrylic top. Yes, you did, sir. But the nice part is there's a lot of awesome people in this community. LTX is definitely one of them who have access to tools and time to help those of us that don't have the tools get the things we need, like a nice acrylic top. And the cool part will be is like if he cuts you an acrylic top and does the Captain Kern logo on top of it, ooh. If he does the Captain Kern logo on top, you'll be able to potentially offer that as something he can sell on his site, is custom acrylic tops for the Centauri Carbon with logos on them. So that'll be pretty sweet. So hopefully he can get that file, get that done, and that'll be a nice little like selling point for him if he wants to, offer those up instead of a glass top, a nice acrylic top with custom logos etched in them. That'd be pretty sweet. Be cool if we get the door files to him too, and he could do a door and do the Captain Kern logo on the door for you too, and then replace them both with acrylic. Don't get me wrong, that glass has a nice thunking sound when it goes shut, but I think acrylics would be a much better way, or polycarbonates. Polycarbonates would be nice too. Polycarbonates would probably be a bit more durable. But whatever happened to the third printer you sent up there? The third printer I set up. What do you mean, bud? You mean up there? I currently, there's this one back here that was up there. I moved it down here after the Magneto left. And then I've got the two Centauris, and at some point I'd like to get a third one over here and have 3 Centauri Carbons at least. I've been snooping Facebook Marketplace, and when money allows, I want to add a third Centauri Carbon. So I'll probably do a Facebook special, like snag one off Marketplace and stick it up there. Oh, that one is sitting out there in the garage. I still haven't messed with that one, but that thing is definitely, I say this nicely, but that thing was never a printer I really cared for to begin with, and it's too, there's just too much going on there for it to be a 3D printer. I mean, a 3D printer, an IDEX printer, or a dual extruder, not an IDEX, but a dual hot end. I mean, the whole thing is just, it's too many things packed into one package. The firmware is just too much, and Uncle Dan really doesn't have the brain power for it. I'm not going to lie. At some point, maybe we'll mess with it, but that thing is sitting right out there. Besides, I only have the one tool head that's on it, so playing around and making sure everything is working for everything I don't have. So, yeah, but at some point I might play around with it, but based on printer speeds and things that are out there today, something like that isn't even really, it's not something that I want to necessarily mess with, but that's not to say it's yours, Your new CC is printing Enderon parts. So is the Cobra S1 and one of your Neo Max, or your Max Neos. Nice. Yeah, you're going to go nuts with that Enderon thing. I was looking at that. That looks pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, I depending on how much longer that thing is going to be, which according to this is 2 hours, um, over 2 hours, I definitely ain't going to be streaming that long. Like I said, I just more or less am sitting out here, didn't have a whole lot going on, figured I would. Yeah, like I said, bud, it's one of those it's one of those printers that, like, realistically these days there's really no real interest in it. It never had a big following, so there's not a lot of documentation out there for it. So finding like answers is going to be a hard part, you know. You'll finally have a Voron of sorts. Hey, you know, it'll be nice, man. It'll be nice. You'll enjoy it, I'm sure. Me personally, I've got the switch wire back here that we got to, you know, at some point I'll play around with that and do some stuff with it. I got my M3 T-nuts the other day, so I mounted the whatever that thing is called again, the 3MS MMU. Yeah, I got that mounted up to the little makeshift frame that I made, where I should be able to fit hopefully the 4 spools down in between there. I mean, hopefully it's spaced out far enough. I might have to figure something out. Yeah, the 3MS. But I should be able to fit, you know, the spools down in between there, or down below there. Or the 4 spools, sorry. I'll have to figure out some way to do like a bunch of little spool holders, or if nothing else, I can always get a little more extrusion and make it so that there's like a little bar that sits across there, and then you can just slide the rolls in and let it just, you know, let them spool up that way and in. I probably should have waited to cut the PTFE tube until I had something more permanent figured out for it. So, want to hear the kicker of the day? What is the kicker of the day, Captain? Like I said, I'm just being a bum today, just hanging out, and nobody else was streaming, so I figured, hell, I'll stream for a little while, hang out, and, you know, I really truly don't have plans. I figured we'll just kind of talk and, you know, see what everybody's got going on. My wife got her books that she wanted. I did get that. 10 minutes after the stream, the lower rep rack spool holder fell off the damn wall as well, or off the damn wall. Oh, Captain, you are having all kinds of luck today, aren't you? I mean, it's not good luck, but again, if it weren't for bad luck, we wouldn't have luck at all, right? My, yeah, I've got all kinds of crazy, like, thoughts and ideas, but really, I'm hoping that in the near future I can finally start working on the office space, try and figure out where I can get a little extra income to get the things I need to push this out there. And then I'm going to leave. I'm kind of going back and forth on it. What I'll probably end up doing is just taking the wall out that's right behind the monitors here, and just open this whole space up front to back. And then roughly about where the monitors are sitting now, there'll be a little workbench, so that I can actually, you know, work on stuff on an actual bench. I'll get like a nice overhead camera, and then this little guy right here can stay over on the computer, and I can just do this when I need to, and zoom into me and then zoom out. Your aunt and uncle are actually looking into 3D printers. What would be a good starter printer? The Elegoo Centauri Carbon. You can pick them up pretty much, you know, Elegoo themselves directly. You can go to Fabrico.com. You go to Fabrico.com and order one. There's a link down below, Maddie. Just send that to them and tell them to check it out. $399 shipped to the door. They have a few in stock still. But it's a good all-around printer. And it's an enclosed Core XY, so it's fast. It can print PLA, PETG, TPU, ASA, ABS, all those fun, you know, those fun materials. So 15 minutes ago, you had the, to roll back, and got Forgex back installed. Nice. Nice, good sir. Guy the Jedi, how the hell have you been? What do you have printing back there in blue? Oh, back here? Right there? Right there. Let's make sure we grab the right printer. We got to grab Hector. There's Hector. He's printing the top glass mount for the side of the Centauri. Printing it in some ASA, you know, nice, durable. But yeah, it's the Ambrosia. It's the, what is it, the planetary blue, right? You got galactic green and planetary blue. So yeah, it's the planetary blue. So printing those parts right now. I did notice that, there we go. I got to scale this down a little bit more. It cuts me off when I'm looking at my preview, but I know that for you guys, it's good. There we go. But yeah, anymore, I've been recommending everybody check out the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. Like I said, it's an enclosed Core XY printer. So one, when you're printing certain materials, you keep the glass on it, keep the door closed. Like I'm printing ASA and it's actually pretty quiet in here right now. I can hear it moving around and stuff. But when you're printing like PLA or PETG and you take the cover off, it gets kind of loud. And when I had both of them printing PLA parts last night, because I was printing all of these are little enclosures for the Heltec V2 or V4 that are coming. So I printed, you know, all these parts. And I printed a couple of different things. I printed one with an external antenna mount. So there's a hole there. I can put the external antenna on it. And then there's this one. And then I printed one that it does come with an internal antenna. So I printed the one that comes with the internal antenna. So you get this little nub that sticks off the top. So when they get here, hopefully they'll ship out Monday. And then I'll have them hopefully by the end of the week. They're coming out of Florida from Rockland. No kickbacks for that. So just shouting them out because that's where I ordered them from. Love your CC. Does not bother me that it doesn't do multicolor. Yeah. Guy, here's the thing. And I know a lot of us that truly like the machine for what it is all have a very similar feeling on it. But to me, the price that you were paying was for the printer. There was a promise of a multicolor material system, but that wasn't included in that price. So for me personally, I bought the machine based on its performance and the price tag, because for that price tag, you can't find another machine that performs as well as that one does. So price to performance, this thing is a beast of a machine. This one is my older one. This is the one that Fabrico sponsored. They sent it to me, said, play with it, have fun, do whatever the hell you want. So reached out to Micro Swiss. You can see a little sticker right there. But I reached out to Micro Swiss. They sent me a Flowtech for it. So this has a Flowtech on it. And because this one has ABS in it, right, or ASA in it right now, that's why it's printing those parts. Otherwise, we're going to install Open Centauri on it as well. And we're going to have some fun with it. Mike, what's going on, man? Good to see you. And it was good to see you last night, too. So you need to start streaming because you're kind of a character. And I think people would enjoy watching you stream. But back to what I was saying. The multicolor thing would have been nice, but, you know, fine. It is what it is. They decided to take a page out of the FlashForge book and put the unit on the side and come out with a Centauri Carbon 2 that'll have multicolor. Great, fine, whatever. Don't care. I didn't get the machine. Like, I paid my own money for this one. I bought this one from Fabrico, but I bought it. And I don't care about the multicolor thing. It's nice. It would be great. But realistically, in my opinion, I don't do enough stuff where multicolor is a thing. So for me and a lot of the people in 3D printing, multicolor is great. But multicolor is not a requirement for me, nor is it for a lot of people. A lot of people getting into it are getting into it for a hobby, for something to kind of play with, something to kind of have fun with, something to do. But for those who get into multicolor, they're okay with the amount of waste that multicolor comes with. You guys know I did have the Anycubic Cobra 3 with the Ace unit. I did not print much with it. Because one, when you print one thing or you print a plate full of things, there's still an almost equal amount of waste in today. I mean, with index and the tool changers, that's changing, but I still personally don't have that big a need. I can have multiple printers break parts up and print them in multiple colors and be just fine and have less waste. So for me, I'm good with this machine as it is. I want more of them, and if you have one and you're pissed off at Elegoo because they lied to you, I will give you my address, send me the unit. I will take it, I will put it on my shelf, I will use it, I will enjoy it. I will have multiple machines. I have no problem with that. But to me, the multicolor material thing was a promise that did not break my feelings for the machine itself, because the price tag on that machine, it's a hell of a machine at that price tag, multicolor or not. So no, Maddie, they went away. They did away with that, bud. Elegoo came out and said that this machine will not have multicolor from Elegoo. They are not working on it. They are not going down that avenue. They came out with the Centauri Carbon 2, which is not released in the US yet, but they are selling Centauri Carbon 2s or pre-ordering or whatever. And that one actually has a unit on the side that has 4 spool holders. Sorry. It has 4 spool holders and a unit on top up here that pulls the 4 filaments in, and then you have the 4 tubes that lead into the hot end. So that is the Centauri Carbon 2 that'll be coming out multicolor. But the Centauri Carbon itself, they have done away with it. However, the machines do already come with a filament cutter tool head, a poop chute on the back, and there is a expansion port on the back as well. I don't exactly know how the expansion port connects or what their intentions were with a multicolor, but if it does use some form of like USB communication, then swapping those pins out to work with a USB port and then plugging in a Vivid, which Big Tree Tech is coming out with for about $300, so the same price as the machine. If it is in some way, shape, or form USB, you'd be able to basically swap out that plug on the back, put a female USB port on there, and then plug the Vivid into it and be good to go. The CC2 is like a bigger ADX5. Yeah, pretty much, Guy. That's what it is, but it's an enclosed ADXY, so you have the enclosed printer. So the 4-pin port on the back of the CC is the same as the Cobra S1. There's a guy that's testing to see if the Ace Pro could be adopted to it. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, if you could pick up an Ace and just plug it right in and then just run something maybe with Open Centauri to make it register it and see it, that would be pretty cool. Hey, Mike, not a problem, brother. It is good to see you. I hope you are doing well after your marathon last night. That's his idea. Yeah, Captain, that'd be pretty cool if that works. And if not, like I said, if we find out that it is some form of like a USB communication, then it would just be a matter of adopting a USB cable to that and then plugging a Vivid directly in. And then as long as you're running Open Centauri with full-blown Clipper firmware, you'd have a much better shot of making that work. I know I reached out to Big Tree Tech and asked them about that and said, hey, if you guys were interested, I would love the opportunity to try. Da Vinci, good to see you, man. But I said I would love the opportunity to try and make that work. If you guys wanted to send a unit my way, we could sit here and play around with it. I'll have 2 Centauri Carbons, so I can take one and use it as the guinea pig. Maker Mindset, what's going on, Rick? Good to see you, man. But like I told them, I said I'm more than happy to try that out if you guys are interested. And I got back a response: it will not work. That was the response back, was it will not work. However, I'm still a very persistent individual, and I still really want to try. So who knows what the future holds? But for right now, I do want to see if I can get some form of with Open Centauri. I want to see more about what it can do and see if there is USB communication across that cable in the back, or how that cable actually connects to that board, like what that port is and how that port works. Because again, if it's like some form of CAN connection, I'm not a big CAN guy, but it'd be interesting to figure it out. It will work with OpenCC on the Vivid via USB. Yeah, and Captain, that's what I'm figuring, and they're telling me it won't. So that is directly from their, let me see here, hold on. I'm not gonna go pulling the chat up, but give me a minute to, oh, for crying out loud. Let me get into my messages. I had to put my code in there. Big Tree Tech. Let's see here. I said, I just wanted to touch base, let you guys know that I have a Centauri Carbon and a second one on the way that I plan to do mods with. So if you guys had anything you'd like to feature or show off to help get the word out, please let me know. I said, I will be installing Open Centauri on one of them and would like to know if it'd be possible to get the Vivid system working on it. That would be something we could or something you would like to try to be a part or try to or like to try or be a part of, let me know. Would be fun to beat Elegoo to the game. They said, hi friend, it can't work. That was their response. And then my response was, okay, was not sure if the Open Centauri on it, if it could work being full clipper, and got no response. That was November 10th. So 13 days ago. 13 days ago, that's what I sent them. That was the response back. And they just said, hi friend, it can't work. So that's where that is. Mr. C Tunes, what's going on? How we doing? So yeah, Big Tree Tech doesn't seem like they're interested in working with, they don't seem to think it'll work. I think it can. I still want to try, and Captain, you're going to try. So when you get it and get going with it, fingers crossed for you, brother. Yep. Yeah, Down Under Maker. It'll be interesting to see if any company wants to send me anything to try. I have 2 of them, and I will be Facebook marketplacing when I have a few extra dollars here and there, more of them, because I plan to be the Uncle Jesse of the broke bitch 3D printer world. You know, I will have to, you know, either get company sponsors to send me Centauri Carbons, or I will be buying them probably either you know, I'll be buying them little by little and just adding them back there, because you will see Centauri Carbons at least on this top row, but I am kind of hoping that the bottom row gets overtaken with Centauri Carbons as well. Who is Uncle Jesse? Look up Uncle Jesse on YouTube, bud, and it's Uncle Jesse with a Y. Look up Uncle Jesse with a Y on YouTube. He is or has been sponsored by Elegoo for many, many years now. Him and Elegoo have a really good partnership, and they send him all the fancy toys, like the Orange Storm Giga. Yeah, I know he has paid for stuff. I don't want to say that he is sponsored and gets everything for free. I don't want to do that. He does get a lot of stuff. He does feature a lot of their products, and the ones he likes, he buys more of. So there is that. So, well, Down Under Maker, thank you, good sir. I do hope that something comes of that, because I would really like to potentially upgrade one or all as I get them. So if I could potentially get one at least, because this is kind of becoming my test bed for things. But as things work here, I'll want to roll them out to however many more show up back there. So again, the Flowtech works great. I will at some point be either purchasing another one, or if they feel so kind as to send me another one, Micro Swiss, if you feel so kind. I love your Flowtech hot ends, and my new Centauri Carbon could definitely do with an upgrade. So please, you got my address. If you guys want to send me one, I won't say no. I would appreciate that. It was kind of great timing that the camera panned in as I was getting ready to grovel and beg for free shit. No, honestly, if it comes down to it, I will always just buy something. You know what I mean? Starry Carbon is one heck of a cheap printer. Yes, it is, Dan. Yes, it is. Like I said, to anybody who's pissed off because of the AMS or lack thereof, or the lack of multicolor, multi-material, whatever you want to call it, with anybody who's upset about that, I understand it. I get what you're saying, but in my opinion and in my situation, the Centauri Carbon is what I want. I like the enclosed, and they're not paying me. They've never sent me anything for free, but in my opinion, it's a good looking machine. It functions really well so far. I've put many hours on this one. This one is still new. I am still kind of going through the break-in process with this one. This one still has not gotten the update. This one's running 1.1.46. This one is still telling me 1.1.4. I've tried rebooting it a few times, and I still can't seem to get it to give me the, hey, we have an update. So I'll give it a little bit of time. Couple power cycles and keep playing around with it until hopefully it gets that. But realistically, if Open Centauri, when we install it on this one, if Open Centauri works as well as it does, then this one will probably be getting it too. But my hope is get Open Centauri installed on here and get it set up. It's already got the Flowtech hot end on it. I know I like the Flowtech hot ends. Been a fan of them since the Creality K1 days when MicroSwiss sent me those. I did buy on the second K1 that I had, I did buy. I want to be completely transparent. Okay. Yours runs Open Centauri. Nice, Dan. And how well is, like, what's any like crazy, anything crazy that like stands out to you about Open Centauri? I mean, I know it's a more deneutered version of Clipper, so it's definitely better in that aspect. But is there anything you can kind of talk about or tell that, you know, make it make that, you know, we're gonna do that definitely thing? Because my hope is, today I was going to do it like the Open Centauri install, but I wasn't thinking, and I started this print and I was like, crap, this is the printer that is going to be my kind of like my test bed for everything. I'm gonna, you know, I put the MicroSwiss on it, works great. I you know, plan to install Open Centauri on it, see how that works. Then, as like I said, this one will be the one that'll get stuff. If it works great here, then we'll move it. As we get more, we'll start adding that down the line to other printers. So if things work out and I'm able to test a couple of things, I will test them here, and then we'll move them down. And the nice thing about a nice, you know, Core XY enclosed printer with a tinted glass is it's really hard to see stuff in there. So I'd be less worried about breaking an NDA. So if anybody wants me to sign an NDA to play around with some stuff, just know I've signed NDAs in the past and people did not know what I was doing. So as much as I like to talk, if you want me to sign an NDA, Dan at makermynexus.com. Send it on. I'll sign your NDA. I'll send it back. You send me shit, I'll tell you what I think, and we'll move on. Again, like the camera knows when to like pan in lately. Doesn't hurt that I go and do stuff like this when I'm talking. Helps the fans, turns the light on, or turns light on, and turns it off when you finish. Nice. Yeah, my hope is I'll get Open Centauri installed. And with Open Centauri, do you have like root access into the printer then after the fact, Dan? I mean, you're gaining full root access, right? So you have the ability to do more frequent updates as new features are released without having to be kind of locked down to what they push out. Okay, and then I was seeing something, help me if I'm wrong here, but if you go to port 4408 or 4409, does that bring up like mainsail and fluid, so that you actually have a more a more common interface, shall we say? Are you able to create your own macros? These are questions I have, so thankfully you're here and you have it, so hopefully you can help me with that. I guess Access to mainsail or fluid. You have fluid on the stock CC. Okay, yeah, it's a stripped down fluid, but yeah. My thing though is like I personally would like to have a little more freedom over the printer to install the things I like. Like I'm a mainsail guy. Like I've been mainsail for many years. Nothing against fluid, but I like mainsail's interface. I'm more comfortable with it. So having mainsail would be nice, but if it's stuck with like fluid or even that generic freaking stripped down fluid that they use, fine, whatever. I'm good with it. But I guess what I'd like to know is do you have full access to the config files? Are you able, if you have full access to the config files, you should be able to then create a macros folder and create macro files to do certain things, like have different macro functions available, which would be, you know, cool and would be something I would really enjoy being able to play around with and then see what kind of custom macros that can be created. Maybe I'd get a GitHub full of like my own Centauri Carbon macros that I make or that I steal code from other people and post in there. Fluid and mainsail are so close to the same these days. Yeah, Down Under Maker, you're right. I mean, they are. They are. Another thing that I'm actually looking forward to when installing Open Centauri is getting this guy to be able to talk to the printers so that I can actually have this thing sitting here on the desk and be able to use it more for that. I have not updated this in a while, so I'm going to have to see if there's any updates for it. But this was originally the Panda, right? The Panda Touch, right? And then I did the K-Touch flash to it and turned it into a clipper one because I, at the time, only had one Bamboo printer. I had the A1 Mini for a handful of minutes. But I have pretty much all clipper machines, so I did the K-Touch firmware flash to it and turned it into a K-Touch. So this is set up as a K-Touch. Having full-blown would be nice. As UIs, you mean? Yeah, I understand, man. I know what you're saying. Open Centauri is full mainline clipper, or is it a strip down to make it work? I was under the impression that there were hardware limitations. Yeah, Rick, I'm not sure. No 4409, no 4408 does not work. Okay. Andy, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ham Radio. Yeah, Andy, I've been getting into Meshtastic a little bit more. Thanks to my buddy Sean sending me this guy. So, yeah, we got ourselves that. And then I've got some Heltex, the V4s coming. So I printed some cases for the Heltec units. This one doesn't have any screws in it, but this one's got the little nubby antenna on top for the internal antenna, as they call it. But it's the little nub that comes with the V4s. So, all else fails, swap the board to a Manta M8 for everyone. Yeah, like I said, if it comes down to it, Captain, let's just say I don't know what I could potentially be getting myself into, but if certain things go down a certain path, then certain things could be doing something. Yeah, Andy, I'm hoping so, man, because like, you know, the Rack Wireless, the little starter kit, the 19007 board with the 4631. But anyway, that's what I currently have. I've been playing around with, and I just use it. I just printed it I printed it in this so that I could just carry it around with me. My buddy's like, just leave it at home, man. Use it like a base unit. Well, the problem is I don't have any other ones. So leaving it sit at home and just letting it sit there is great, but not for me, because then I don't have anything else. So now that I've got the V4s coming, this will probably sit, I'll find somewhere high around my house to just kind of like set this, probably up in my bedroom window on my second floor. I'll just stick it up there and let it just sit there and, you know, be like a little, I wouldn't say repeater or a router, but it can just sit up there as a client and do its thing. And then I'll have one of these little guys on me and then another one that I can, whatever, I'll figure it out, man. It's the joys. I'm actually going to turn one of those, that one, I'm actually going to turn it into a unit that sits on top of my car. Now that I think about it, I'll probably leave one of the V4s at home to be kind of like a unit here. And then take that guy and move it into this. I put the antenna out here, and then there's a solar panel that's currently sitting right there that will connect to this end of it coming out, and then there it gets some magnets, stick on top of my car, and then this will be on top of my car, so as I'm driving around, I can hopefully pick up nodes around and help kind of push stuff out. So this guy's going to go on the car with the guts that are in that one right now, and then, like I said, I'll have two of the V4s to kind of play around with. I like the look of this case. I kind of like this case more, so I'll probably print more of these and swap the other one. But for right now, to test them both and see which one's going to be better, I got two 10 dBi gain antennas coming, so you can have the longer whip ones. Two more similar to this guy coming, so I'm going to stick those on there, and we'll take them all out, kind of play around, and get into it a little bit more. I want to kind of start building out a little mesh network around me. It's not super expensive to get into, so figure if I can build out a couple of little nodes around my area, then it'd be something cool to have, and just kind of tell people that, like, hey, if you're into mesh and you live in this area, I'm building out a node, or I'm building out a little mesh network. Feel free to add your, if you want to get into it, $35 gets you into Meshtastic, and then you have your own little mesh communication network. So, Captain, the cyborg boards are going to be a pin compatible, so no need to depin, etc. Make them work. Down Under Maker, you're actually talking about the cyborg. Like, you're actually like talking about it. I thought you told me hush hush, man. No, I'm just playing. You have a Boom Doc Echo. Nice. Yeah, you're definitely going to know more about Meshtastic and ham radio stuff than me. I'm more of a jackass of all trades. I mean, jack of all, right? Yeah. Then you get to wait until February, March for the index to ship. Yes, yes. I will be completely honest with you. Who thinks that a Centauri Carbon with an index on it would be a cool thing? I mean, I would, I'm not going to lie. I think that a Centauri Carbon probably have to be just a Centauri. You probably have to strip the panels off of it, take the door off of it, so that you can gain better access to everything you need. But it would be kind of cool, especially if things like the board that Down Under Maker's talking about but not talking about. Oh, they were at Form Next? Oh, it's public now. Okay. So yeah, anyway, for those who don't know, Down Under Maker was talking about the Big Tree Tech is looking at releasing the Cyborg board, which will be a direct drop-in for this thing that will give you full-blown clipper and better access to all kinds of fun goodies. So it'll be a direct drop-in. You'll just basically tip the bottom over, take the board out, put the new board in, power it up, and then it'll probably... I don't know many of the details. At Form Next, I wasn't there, and I didn't see anybody really cover the Cyborg board, but I definitely hope that they would be willing to send me 1 or 2 or 10, because I want to have more Centauri Carbons. But definitely wouldn't argue if they wanted to send me 1, It'd be fun to install it, set it up, and then have it to test and play around with and show you guys. And this way, for all of you Centauri Carbon loving individuals, you can be like, this is definitely the first or second upgrade, because upgrading the board will definitely be a nice thing. First or second thing to do would be upgrade the board, and then the next thing to do, or the first thing to do, would be to put a Flowtech hot end on it. So I will throw that out there right now. Definitely a worthwhile upgrade, Captain. If you you should probably talk to Micro Swiss Bud and see if you can Centauri Carbonites. Yeah, we Centauri Carbonites got to stick together, because there's a lot of haters out there right now dumping shit on us. But got to remember something: Elegoo didn't shit the bed like FlashForge did, so keep that in mind. I get my printers because I want them for what they can do, not for what the company tells me I can do with them. Skull Army loves his. I'm glad, man. That's definitely Like I said, I'm building out a little farm of them, whether anybody likes it or not. I don't care, because for me, I want a printer that's just going to work. And out of the box, they have just worked. The only time I have a problem is every now and then I forget to clean the bed before I start a print, and I'll have an adhesion issue. Stop the print, clean the bed, put it back in there, fire the print back up, and it just prints it. So the only times I've had issues was that, and then the quality of one of the filaments was garbage, and it kept clogging the nozzle. So there was an issue. It was one specific roll of filament. I have not printed with it since. If I do, it'll probably be on a printer that's a little more forgiving to a imperfect filament. So there is that too. The MKS boards are way less friendly than are for modding and self-development because their docks aren't very good. Correct, Down Under. You got the same thing in the Core 1 overnight, so that's not Centauri issue. Yeah, crap filament is not a printer problem. It becomes a printer problem, but it's not the printer's fault that it's crap filament. Okay, so the ADM5 is on its own VLAN, firewalled, air-gapped via MAC address. Let's see FlashForge read shit now. Yeah, no, like I said, Captain, my big thing is this. We should be free to use our hardware any way we choose. We bought it, we paid for it, it's ours. We should be free to use it any way we choose. Elegoo could be doing their damnedest to fight against certain things, but Elegoo is saying, look, it's yours. You understand that by doing these things, you void warranties and also your customer support. So if you do that, that's on you. Thank you for giving me the option to make my own mistakes. So that's my theory on it. Like if I sell somebody something and I tell them this is yours, this is how we intend for you to use it. However, if you choose to use it in a way other than the way we intend for you to use it, you assume all risk and liability. You put that clause in there. End of story. You let the person buy the product and use it as they see fit. And if they do something dumb that does not suit the initial or the intended use, then it's their problem. Had his first clog on his CC. You showed him how to pull the hot end, remove the nozzle, use heat to heat it and remove the clog. Now he has a clog again, and we'll know how to fix it. Exactly, Rick, exactly. At the end of the day, why print pew-pews anyway? Home printers with home materials aren't up. Yeah, FlashForge definitely shit the bed on that one. And yeah, again, if somebody chooses to do that, they're assuming all liability and risk, plain and simple. And it's not up to the manufacturer to decide who gets to assume what risk. Within reason. I mean, obviously, if a printer bursts into flames because of normal use, then yeah, there should be some kind of fallback for that. But again, have fun going after companies that aren't from the US when you buy products that aren't made in the US to get that kind of, blanket. You're not going to get that. But yes, it is about the creative freedom side of it. I mean, they're using pew-pews as their reason for, or as their podium to stand on, but or their soapbox. There we go. That's their soapbox they're standing on. Fine, whatever. That's their choice, and I'm quite certain that they're going to have a following of people that don't care about that will continue to buy them and use them, and that's their right to do so. I will never tell anyone how to spend their own money, but if you ask my opinion, they get my money. They got my money. They got Fabrico's money. They got my money. That's just me. That's where I would recommend. So if you ask for my recommendation, Elegoo Centauri Carbon, $390 or $339, shipped to your door from Fabrico, or you can find them on Elegoo's website. After shipping and tariffs, it's like $350-ish, or you can get them on Amazon or other places. Wherever you can find them, you can buy them. I'll always tell you to go support people who support me, so I'll always tell you, look at Fabrico first. But at the same time, I love the machine, and I understand that that may not be for everyone, or it may not be an option for everyone. So wherever you can find it, buy it from there if that's what you want. It's your money. It's not my money, but that's how I spent my money, right there. Quit that. Gestures. Oh. But yeah, also because of Fabrico, I named this one Hector and this one Chamois. So the new one is named Chamois, and the old one is named Hector because, you know. But yeah, so I got Hector and Chamois back there. When I get number 3, we'll have to figure out a name for it. Because I'm a fan of 3-legged dogs and wanting one and naming it Trido, I'll probably name it Trido just to be a smartass because it'll be my third printer, not printer. So yeah, I might name the third one Trido just to be a smartass because I'll never get a 3-legged dog, or I don't think I'll ever get a 3-legged dog that I can name Trido instead of Fido, Trido. Yeah, Captain, it's the same as if Sony told you not to make bird videos. Yeah. Or in the case of most camera manufacturers in adult content, you know, if these camera manufacturers said you can use our cameras but don't make adult content. Yeah. Yep, Maddie, not a problem, bud. Good to see you. Tell mom, dad, and your sister I said, you know, I said hi. We said hi. Love you guys. Miss you guys. And hopefully someday we'll get a chance to come down and see you guys because it'd be nice to take a little road trip. You was being PG. I was PG too. I said adult content. I didn't say the other thing. I said adult content. That's a false equivalence. Down Under Maker, it's one of those things, man. Plain and simple. It's going to be a conversation that gets us in a bad place. So we'll just move on. We'll just say that I'll spend my money on these guys because they give me my freedoms to do as I please with the machine. And FlashForge puts limitations on what can or can't be done, whether I choose to or not choose to do that. So, yeah. I don't want to go down a path that will create a heated argument. So we'll steer away from that now. Remember, like I said, I try to keep this Switzerland here. So back to the cyborg though. Do you have anything you can like link me or anywhere you can point me where I can find out more about it? Because I am curious. I want to see what the cyborg even looks like. Let me look it up. PTT cyborg board. They have the Panda cyborg. What the hell is that? Is this something I'm missing here? What is the cyborg? Is this is the cyborg, but it's the hell? Big Tree Tech. Panda cyborg, transplant new boards into your P1, P1S. That's for the P1 and P1S according to this. But if they do come out with one, it would be fun to put a 5-inch touchscreen on it. Panda Steam high temp breakout board. That's cool. These are Panda stuff. The Panda Lobe SBC, which allows you to use their Big Tree Tech board. Jailbreaks P1 printers for the same reason. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. But yeah, they're only talking about it for on their website currently. It looks like the only thing they have posted is for Bamboo Labs printers. Cyborg board for Centauri Carbon. Will there ever be a Big Tree Tech replacement board for Elegoo? That was posted a while ago. But yeah, so when the Cyborg becomes an available option for the Centauri Carbon, I hope Big Tree Tech remembers me. Maybe I should go message them, and maybe I should go message them. I don't know. I really, really want to do this. So, like, Big Tree Tech, think of me, because I really, really, really want to do this. I really, really, really want to be able to, like, open up my Centauri Carbon even more. And knowing that the board's going to be a drop-in replacement and it's going to be full-blown clipper right out the box makes me happy. Yeah, down under. I'm patiently waiting, man. I know good things come to those who wait. So I'm just gonna patiently wait and see what comes of it. It'll be fun. I mean, if mention from Down Under Maker helps them to decide, or whether I just casually drop a "Hey gang," or all of the above, would be nice. Need to lay down. The body is yelling at you. Yeah, Captain, go rest up, man. Handful of ibuprofen and pass out. Maybe jump in a nice warm shower if that's an option. If not, maybe a nice ice bath. I don't know. I don't know which way your body mends better, heat or cooling, but rest up, brother. And who knows what the future may hold. I'll see what I can do. Before you go, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and think about joining as a member. Don't forget to ring the bell. Dude, look at you with all those fancy little like boom, copy and paste or quick buttons. Look at you. Thank you, brother. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, all the likes and subscribes and all that stuff definitely help out. I did notice that my subscription number went up over the last couple of streams, so that's good, man. I will take that. I believe it was 2241. Yeah, I'm up 6 subscribers. I was actually down to 2229, I think, at one point. So, and Down Under Maker, you are correct. Some people are slacking. So if you're watching and haven't hit that like button, consider it. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me take a moment to do the YouTuber-y thing. You ready? Hi, I'm Dan. This is Maker Mind Nexus. I do weird things, have ADHD, and I'm all over the place. So sometimes I'm working on things like Meshtastic, 3D printing, rebuilding old 3D printers and giving them away to those less fortunate, along with sponsors like Micro Swiss and Polymaker. Fabrico has since sponsored a machine to help get parts printed and get them out there. So there's all that good stuff. As well as, don't forget, there are links down below. If you click on some of those links, they're affiliate links. They help me out if you buy stuff from those companies like Micro Swiss and Sliceworks. In my Linktree, I have links to PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. If you'd like to monetarily sponsor or help out, greatly appreciated. Money helps. Everybody needs money. You can consider giving me a sub if you haven't. Become a member if you like what you see and you want to help kick back to the channel that way. I do have merch. I haven't really pushed that I have some merch, but there is if you go to shop.makermindnexus.com, it'll take you to my fourth wall store where I have a couple t-shirts, a hoodie, and a coffee mug currently. So if you want to get any of that stuff, consider doing that. It greatly helps as well. Plus gets my name out there a little bit more and lets people know who I am and where to find me. Have it. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Are the Panda Touch, K-Touch the same? Yes, Rick. The Panda Touch, K-Touch are the same machine, and you can flash the different firmware between them to make it do what you want to do. So, in my experience, this thing started as a Panda Touch. It started as a Panda Touch. Then when the K-Touch firmware came out, I did a video right away. I flashed it and got it out there. I was one of the first ones to release a video on turning the Panda Touch into a K-Touch. And then, as you can see, I use it quite often. It's nice and dusty sitting on the desk because I only have Centauri Carbons really anymore. But cancel that. Don't do an emergency stop. Cancel that. Go back. I will have to see if I can do a firmware update because mine is currently running the firmware v1.1.0. So I'll have to see if there's a firmware update out there for it, but it's just download 2 files, log into the web interface, upload 1 file, let it reboot and restart, then update the second file, and you're good to go. So not too hard of a thing to do. I did put out a video a while back. If you go look, you can find it. But Yeah, same hardware, different firmware. They're rubbish compared to the HDMI touchscreen on the Clipper host. Yeah, Maker, down under Maker. Yeah, I do have this guy too, which is the Pad 5 from Big Tree Tech. There is a way to turn this into a better version of that. So if you can get your hands on a Pad 5, Big Tree Tech Pad 5, you can print the little case that they have for it. It uses a little Raspberry Pi compute module, and then you can just install Clipper on this and then just add in the printers so that you just have access to your printers that way. I did do that in the past, and once these are running, I'll probably do that again with this, just because it does have more features, many more features built in, a lot more you can do. So, you know, there's that. Which screen do you recommend for the SV08? You can get the Clipper screen, the standard Clipper screen that either Solval sells, or you can get a HDMI 5 from Big Tree Tech and plug it right in, and it should just work. So I'm pretty sure Solval sells, I think it's the HDMI 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I could be wrong, but HDMI 5, if you're running, because it's already running full-blown Clipper on it, you just get the HDMI 5, plug it in, and it should work. And then you'll have full-blown Clipper screen on it. I have to do some research. Yeah. But you can get the Big Tree Tech HDMI 5. They're like, was it like 35, 45 bucks, something like that, I think. Could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked. But you can get one. That's actually what I've got in this guy right here, right up there that you can't see now because it's zoomed in. But yeah. You order the SV08 for $371, 32 gig eMMC. Nice. Put mainline Clipper on. Rick, I've never done that because I've never gotten an SV08. I've never done that, but my understanding is when it's installed, it works great. It's just, it can be kind of finicky to get it installed. However, 32 gig eMMC, nice, plenty of storage, lots of files. 6 different HDMI screens because you just buy whichever is the cheapest because it doesn't matter. Yeah, if it's HDMI and touchscreen, it should just work. Realistically, whatever one you've got should just work. Obviously, you know, touchscreen is nice to have so that you can tappy on the Clipper screen. So, but yeah, so whatever HDMI touchscreen you have available should work. So even if you had like a bigger like 7-inch touchscreen, or you're gonna go crazy and get like one of those big long like 9-inch like super long touchscreens, you can get one of them as well. You're happy with the K2 Plus, but it's have much support for the index as the Solval is. Yep. Yep. Rick, yep. You don't like the TFT screens? Me personally, I like having a little touch screen on there. Don't get me wrong, the old click wheel and scroll is nice, but yeah, having a web interface so that I can sit over here and be a lazy ass and then control these by a web interface is nice. Don't necessarily need anything here because I can just load up the web browser, connect to them, and do what I need to do that way. But you know, it would still be fun to have, or it's still nice to have something that you can control them remotely from. So like if I am in the middle of a stream and something happens, I don't have to like rush to load up a web page and do something. I can just have it on the desk, tap it, and, you know, stop a print or whatever. So once Open Clipper or Open Centauri is installed on this one, we'll see about getting it added into this guy and see if it is an option. So people who do have this, regardless of people's like love or disdain for it, if they have one of these, if they're able to connect to it, great. That'll be nice to know, and be nice to be able to tell people that, hey, if you have a K-Touch and you have Open Clipper or Open Centauri installed, you can, you know, use this to control that if you have it. And then if not, anybody who took a page out of Chris Riley's book back when I kept talking about it, and then he just did it, which was awesome that he made the video on it, how to turn the Pad 5 into a remote clipper screen. Be able to set it up on here as well and be able to use this as well. So it'll be fun to have options with Open Centauri on that. So it'll be fun to get that working and be able to show people that these things are options if you have it, you know. You have printers in 3 rooms, so remote touchscreen for all the printers will be nice. Yes, Rick, I agree. Like I said, I mean, like in the case of me, when I do finally do whatever the hell I'm going to do in here and make this space larger so I have more room, it would be nice to have, you know, if I have like a workbench area roughly where I'm sitting now, to have something right there that I can control the printers from, as well as, again, the computer over there, something here, and then the printers back there. Would be nice. Willington. Not a chance to YouTube ever notify on time. Good afternoon. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, YouTube's notifications are jacked as usual. It's the ongoing, like, it's the ongoing thing, man. YouTube never notifies people properly. Yeah, you can definitely do the Pad 5 or the Pad 7 with a power bank and then just have a CM4 on it with Clipper. And then again, Chris Riley put out the video a long time ago. It's been probably a year or more now on how to convert the Pad 5 or Pad 7 to a remote Clipper screen. So definitely look up Chris's video, Chris's Basement, Chris Riley, whichever way you want to find him. Find him. Not a BTT shell, but you know the range really well. Exactly. Big Tree Tech has a lot of products out for the 3D printing space. That's kind of their whole thing. So they kind of cornered the market on having the available tech and having a broad enough reach to hit pretty much everybody with their stuff. So not saying it's the best, but it works. You've been subbed to Chris for many years. Yeah, me too. Started following Chris Riley back in 18-19 on YouTube. Been subbed to his channel since 2018, 2019. So, yep, been subbed to Chris for quite some time now. Not exactly sure. I think just life and you know, he doesn't make content like he used to because life kind of got in the way, and plus there's a lot of people in the 3D printing space now compared to back then. So that's why I kind of went away from DB3D, as many remember me from. I kind of went away from that and went to more of MakerMind. You know, went more with the MakerMind thing because this way I'm free to just make content about what I want to make content about, and I'm not kind of like shoehorned into this one category. Because again, I'm getting into Meshtastic stuff thanks to my buddy Sean. I've been getting into Meshtastic and playing around with that. So using 3D printing, I've been making cases for these, and as I get the other radios in, I'll play around with that more. And you know, it's just a space for me to kind of talk about all the crazy dumb things I'm doing, whether it's rebuilding old printers or playing with Meshtastic or whatever I decide to do. It gives me a more broad kind of a broad spectrum to kind of play around in and not feel like I'm shoehorned into one category. So like I've been hearing about the Vintage Computer Con that happens up in the Chicagoland area. So next year I'm hoping to be able to make it to that and check out some old vintage PCs and computers and things like that. And who knows what else, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm shoehorned into one thing, you know. So it's kind of where I'm at. Sorry. Little dry in the old throat area there. That's kind of, yeah, that's what I'm thinking is I think Chris just pretty much, he's got to deal with his day to day. So there's that. Mm. Who is this? Damn it, I just saw it and it went away. There was a picture of somebody with a Pizza Hut box on their print bed. Who the hell was that? Who's using a printer for the intended purpose of heating their pizza? I mean, that is the intended purpose, right? Of a heat bed to keep your pizza warm. Just put that out there. I don't remember who. It popped up and then went away just that fast. So, dadgummit. So, I guess, gang, my question to you guys is, um, what kinds of things are you guys interested in besides 3D printing? Like what like zombie? It could have been zombie. It was a Pizza Hut box. That's all I know. I saw a Pizza Hut box. Okay? So whoever it was Pizza Hut. But like what kinds of other things are you guys interested in besides 3D printing? Like what are your other like guilty pleasures or your other interests, you know? Yes, Rick, you should. Like make a nice little like stand for your table and then plug that in, and whenever you need it, you can just throw your pizza box on there and give yourself a nice little rotary dial to set the temp. That'd be pretty cool. Yes, Havoc Pizza Hut is still a thing. There's one by us. It's still going strong. But with all the other pizza joints these days, we still just get Casey's Pizza because we live in a small little podunk town. So for those who don't know, Casey's General Store. It's a gas station chain across most of Midwest, and yeah, we get our pizza at the gas station. And then there's also a little mom and pop shop here in town that does pizzas as well, and they do pretty good. Make some pretty good pizzas too. Speaking of, I should see how much Casey's rewards I have. Maybe I can get a free pizza for dinner tonight. Let me go look at my Casey's rewards and see. Casey's rewards. Oh, my wife messaged me. What'd she say? She messaged me like a half hour ago. I'm probably in trouble now. You have a CNC plasma cutter, you do welding, you do soldering and electronics. You started a small orchard, 20 trees, 20 fruit trees. Nice. That's awesome, Rick. Yeah. I never really got into the CNC stuff. Welding, I took some welding in high school and I did a little welding in college class. I took a welding class in college. It's weird to say college because I mean, I went to college. I took some college classes. I never considered that to be like college. But yeah, when I was in community college, I took a welding class there as well. Soldering, I'm dangerous at. Electronics, I can release the magic smoke really well. And then as for a orchard, that would be interesting. I don't have enough land for an orchard, but that could be cool. Go away. Go away. Let's see. I only got $6.80 in cash, like Casey's cash. If I redeem points, I'll have $6.80. Or I could get 34 cents off a gallon on fuel, up to 20 gallons. Yeah, we'll just hang on to that. If nothing else, we can get a discounted pizza for dinner. Instead of paying $15 for a pizza, we can pay $9 for a pizza. Teach all the things kids these days don't understand a need for it, but enjoy doing it once they try it. Yeah. exactly, down under. That's the problem with kids, man, is kids are like, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. Then they do it and they're like, oh my God, I love this. This is fun. Sorry. Throat's getting dry. So probably going to have to wrap this up pretty quick because hurts to talk. So probably going to wrap this up and then go talk to the missus and see. It's only 4 o'clock our time, but go see. I've got another hour and some change left on this print. So yeah, it's just still going to be a while. But we've been streaming for an hour, just hanging out. We've just been talking and doing this. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me for the last hour. Again, don't forget the YouTubery things. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and if you like what you see, want to become a member, consider becoming a member. But teach your kids all that stuff. Yeah, I try to teach my kids about like the 3D printing because there's a lot to a 3D printer other than just making cool stuff like the maintenance and upkeep. It's good like learning some mechanical skills and understanding how things work. Understanding the difference between a standard like Cartesian printer with a core X and Y, or not core, but with like an X, Y, and a Z motion versus a core X, Y where X and Y work together, or in this case where X and Z work together to make movement happen. So, but yeah, it is cool, and it's a great way for kids to understand how mechanisms work. So, but yeah, gang, I think like I said, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. We've been going for a little over an hour now, almost an hour and 15 minutes. So I think I'm gonna wrap this. I'm gonna let you guys get back to your day or finding somebody else to watch. Is there anybody currently streaming at the moment that we can go check out? Let me go take a look and see if somebody fired up a stream because I didn't see a stream earlier, and I am kind of curious as to if anybody is live. Teens can change brakes, weld, paint, solder, etc. Yeah, yeah, it is pretty nice when they can do that stuff. Model ship building with Kilroy. Kilroy's building a model ship. I don't know if I can jump over to him or not. But I don't see anybody else that I'm following streaming right now. Dang it. Yep, and Kilroy's just building a model ship. I don't know if anybody wants to go see Kilroy or not. But I don't even know that I can jump over to his. I don't know if Al's got me set up for that. So on that note, I'll just leave you guys with the usual spiel. Stay out of trouble, stay out of jail, happy 3D printing and all the things. And don't forget, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Have a good night, guys. Bye, guys.